part of the Press Play Podcast Network.
Another week, another episode of the Ball Card Show. I'm Jason Otero.
I'm Gary LeMaster.
This is the Sports Podcast.
Or the Sports Collector.
Glad you're tuning in. We got another good one for you. I'm back.
You are back. We were off last week because you were in
I was in the Big Easy.
the Big Easy, New Orleans.
NOLA.
For a week.
That was a long time.
To be in New Orleans, yeah, that's a long time in New Orleans.
You know what? It's hard to be fat down there.
It's because it's really hot and humid. It's also below sea level, which is terrifying.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we're back, and my mouth's real dry because I ate like 6 club crackers.
Yeah, we're getting ready to podcast, and Jason's like, hey, do you want some of these club crackers? I was like, no, I don't. But you know what I do want? A shot of mango habanero
You got me again.
whiskey. It's a win.
There's probably people that don't drink. They're just getting real annoyed with all of our...
That sounds like a them. Listen, so I'm going to be very clear.
I'm going to eat this cracker while you
If
do it.
anything that we say or do on this podcast bothers you or annoys you, we don't care at all. You're just not our audience if that's the case. Right?
You bother me. You annoy me.
Yeah, but you love me too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they love us, and they also hate what we do.
Are you sure?
No.
No, me either.
Big week in the hobby.
Yeah? What's big about this week in the hobby?
Well, you got a few things going on. LeBron's card has a few more. The triple logo man's got a couple more days on it.
That
Right?
card is beat to hell.
Yeah.
Have you looked at it?
Not under a microscope.
You don't need a microscope. Like, that card is beat to hell.
Where's the bids at right now? Last I heard was 1.5.
1.8 was the last I saw. After the buyer's premium, it was like 2.1. So Golden Auctions
Is this really
going
gonna
to
hit
about
4?
300K as of right now.
Do you
Just
think
to
this
put it on
really
their
hits 4 to
website.
6?
I don't know. If the card was in actually good shape, maybe, but I'm not kidding, man. That thing is, if they had actually graded it instead of just slabbing it as authentic, it was probably a 6. Like, that card is.
Somebody made the right move then.
Well, I mean, anytime you get that type of a card, unless you're independently wealthy and you just want to have the card and you hit it, the right move is to sell it immediately.
You know who wishes they could sell sooner? People just now opening Prizm Hobby Football.
Oh, yeah. Prizm came out this week, and we weren't too far off on what it was going to price at. Right now, it's sitting at about $1,300 a box pre-tax, and it's brutal. If you've watched any breaks, if you've been in any breaks, it's rough. It's rough out in the hood there. I've seen a lot of boxes ripped that maybe have $200 worth of cards in them.
It's ridiculous.
If you do really well, you might get $1,500 or $1,600 worth of cards out of them. Like a Mac Jones silver auto right now is what, $900, $1,000?
Yeah, right around there. Yeah.
So you hit the most desirable, for most people at least. It's not the guy I would want, but the most
Davis Mills.
Yes, sir.
Davis
all day
Mills.
long.
If you ain't buying Davis Mills, sell me your Davis Mills.
Yeah, that's 100% correct. That is 100% correct. But you can't come out ahead unless you
I love Davis Mills.
of 25 rookie QB auto. Like, it's just brutal out there. And I have made some buying posts lately looking for stuff, and a lot of people have been trying to sell me Prizm, and I've told all of them, unless you're willing to sell it to me for what it's going to sell for in 3 months, I'm not interested.
I don't think it's going to take that long
Oh.
because people that open several boxes or bought a case, they need to get something back.
Yeah, it's rough.
Especially with the addictive nature of the hobby. People they're not going to wait.
Well, and retail just dropped this week. So now the base stuff is going to start to get flooded. Like base Mac Jones, base Trevor Lawrence, base Trey Lance, even base Davis Mills. Base Davis Mills were selling for $35-$40. Justin Fields, they were selling for $50 to $80 early, but now that retail's dropping, they're going to come down to $20-$25 a piece for base would be my guess.
Grab a few of them if they look centered.
Well, yeah, if they come down to that, if you can get them. But here's the guys I would be buying if I were you, just from a standpoint of what their potential for growth is.
Jalen Waddle.
Well, if we're talking about QBs, I would be looking You already said
Davis
Mills.
Mills.
Can you say it like that for me?
I would also look at Trey Lance because there's still some uncertainty about whether Trey Lance is even going to start out there. And there's been some rumblings that he hasn't looked amazing in OTAs, which isn't shocking. The kid played a year and a half of D2 football, like 1AA. He's got all kinds of skills, but it's going to take a little while to get where he needs to be. Justin Fields is still selling a little bit higher than where I think he should be selling, although I do like his long-term potential. He's just in a rough situation there. It helps that Matt Nagy's gone.
Yeah.
But still, they don't have a lot of weapons there, and that offensive line is brutal.
Yeah.
And Trevor Lawrence, I don't think is terrible. I think the guy you don't want to buy is Mac Jones. He's just overpriced.
Right now. Yeah.
Just drastically overpriced for who he is. And, I mean, he's going to be fine, but he's Andy Dalton. It's who he is.
Everybody's Andy Dalton.
No, not everybody. Not everybody. Just dudes who don't have cannon arms and are game managers. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Speaking of
why
cannon
am I
arms,
paying
there's been a
lot.
lot of positive buzz about Tua and his accuracy. Have you seen this?
I've seen.
Did you see the side-by-side comparison with Patrick Mahomes?
No, but I've seen Tyreek Hill talking about his accuracy, and that's cool. I'm interested to see how good Tyreek Hill feels about his quarterback when he's 50 yards downfield and has to run backwards to catch a ball.
I am too.
Because I don't think his good feelings are going to last
Well,
long.
let's see. We'll find out, I guess.
We will.
Because statistically,
How long do you think it'll take before Tyreek Hill has a free Teddy Bridgewater T-shirt on the sidelines?
I don't think that happens.
3 weeks? 4 weeks?
Wow. You're laughing now. Give me your Tua for cheap.
Deal. You can buy all my Tua for pretty cheap.
Well, we're going to start it out with the $20 you're probably going to owe me after the Warriors put the game away in 6, which is what I predicted, and you said 4 or 7.
You took 6, and I had 4, 5, and 7. I don't think they put it away in 6.
It's tonight.
Yeah.
It's 3-2.
Yep.
Game 6.
Yep. I think the Celtics win tonight.
Okay.
4-7.
Well, if not, we'll put that towards Tua, which is worthless to you. So I just think that ought to cover your stack of Tua.
My stack of Tua?
Well, yeah. I mean, you think he's trash.
Yes, but it doesn't mean I'm going to sell him for like way, way, way less than what I can sell him to anybody else for. I'll sell him to you for 70% of comps all day long.
70%?
65% of comps, yeah.
That's what everybody's doing now.
No, it's not.
Yeah, bro.
If you're selling on Facebook and you're thirsty and you're selling Chronicles, yeah.
You're thirsty. All right.
Okay.
Anyway, so Prizm, you got that going on.
Brutal.
Topps Series 2, we were just dogging it. The checklist is terrible, but they left some Easter eggs for everybody.
Which we talked about the possibility happening,
Yep.
and we were right. We've got the big rookies have super SPs, kind of like the Acuna Bat Down and the Soto Gatorade Bath, the like deep SPs. Nobody has a hard like odds number on them, but my guess is they're one a case.
Yep.
If I had to throw out a wild guess. So you've got Bobby Witt Jr., you've got Julio Rodriguez, you've got O'Neal Cruz. Those guys are all Spencer Torkelson. Those guys are all SPs in the product. Again,
Where are they comping? $200 to $300 on those raw?
no, more than that.
Really?
J-Rods have been going for close to 5.
Okay.
Wits have been going for about 4. To be frank, I'm probably buying Julio Rodriguez if you want one of these SPs, just go buy the SP. Don't try to rip boxes to get it. Although
Right.
boxes are reasonable. They're about 110 for a hobby box. Jumbos are about 180. Jumbo's guarantee an auto and hobbies are an auto or a relic. Buy a case and stash it long term if you want to do that. That's not a bad move. I think that the kids that they put in as SPs, at least one of them is going to be a really good player long term. If I was putting my money on who's going to be the most hobby relevant, it's probably going to be Julio Rodriguez. That kid he hits. He's got a great eye. He doesn't strike out a lot. Witt's fine. Nothing wrong with Bobby Witt. I think he's going to be a good player, too. He's starting to heat up. And O'Neal Cruz is the wild card out of all of it. O'Neal Cruz is either going to be absolutely amazing or absolutely terrible. There's not really an in-between with him. It's either boom or bust.
Yeah.
But if you can buy a case, if you can find a case on the secondary market that somebody wants to move for, there's 12 boxes in a hobby case. If you will find somebody that wants to move it for $1,000, and you've got an extra $1,000, it's not a terrible product to just stash. Right. But if you just want the SPs, don't chase them in the product. Just go buy one.
Yeah, you're better off doing it that way. I agree.
Just go buy one.
Back to Prizm.
Back to Prizm.
So let's talk about retail. We mentioned it briefly.
Yep.
Megas have no old guaranteed auto.
Target does.
Ooh.
I believe that the Target Megas still guarantee an auto, but nobody else's do.
Yeah.
So Fanatics, Walmart don't. The secondary market early on retail is a little silly. Megas are going for $100, 100 plus. Before everybody had access, there were some guys that had stuff. They had backdoor deals that were running lines at $100 for blasters. I've seen blasters selling for $50 to $60 in bulk. I think they're $34.99 at Walmart if you find them. I will tell you this, for me personally, I won't be ripping any Prizm football this year.
I think the price on those will continue to drop.
Oh, no, and it's not going to get below retail on the retail stuff. But if I find retail, check out our Whatnot page for breaks, because that's what I'll be doing with it.
Yeah.
I won't be ripping it for myself.
Yeah.
I just can't see the value in it. And I'm telling you guys, the print runs on this stuff are through the roof. They're not junk wax. I'm not playing that game where it's a new junk wax era. Like, I don't think that's the case. But the print runs on this stuff are 2 to 3 times what 2019 Prizm was.
Yeah.
Like, they're through the roof.
Let's move on. Another product. Was it Flawless that just came out?
Listen, there's two sides of this coin. There's the side that says capitalism wins, and there's the side that says y'all are greedy SOBs. Flawless is selling at $20,000 a case. It's $1,000 a card. There's 10 cards in a briefcase. There's 2 briefcases to a case. $10,000 a briefcase. You know what distribution price was for the 2-box case, Jason?
This is going to be good.
$3,100. I'm all for people making money, but this is asinine. There is a 90% chance that if you spend $10,000 on a box of Flawless, that you're going to get $400 worth of cards back out of it. And the 1-of-1 Mac Jones Shield auto has already been pulled. Mojo Breaks pulled it.
And they said it. The product is done.
Yeah, I mean, but people are still buying into breaks at $1,000 a spot in 10-spot draft breaks. Like, it's insane to me. Now, is Flawless a high-end product? Yes. And is it a product that should cost more than other products? Yes. But at the most, it's a $2,500 box. And I know I sound like an old head, but for the love of God, 3 years ago I was buying Flawless for $1,000 a briefcase.
And that was an expensive
and that was
product.
Crazyville.
Yeah.
That was Crazyville. And now it's 10 times that? Get out of here.
Get out of here, guys.
Craziness. Yeah. So, I mean, cool product. It's an expensive product. It's not for everybody. But, man, I hope it just sits. I hope these guys get stuck with it and it just sits. That's my opinion.
I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think it will
It'll
either.
get
but
broke because
we can dream. Well, it'll get broke because there's gamblers out there.
Yep.
That are addicted.
Yeah, losers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we talked about that the other day. And in general, gambling, there's a great scene in a movie. And do you remember the name of the movie?
You would have to tell me the scene first,
Well, we
and
talked
then
about
I'll guess
So
the movie.
It was a movie
Because
with
if I don't know what happens in the movie,
Al Pacino.
I've seen a lot of movies.
Yeah, Al Pacino and Matthew McConaughey. And McConaughey is a washed-up former quarterback, but he starts picking games as a gambling advisor.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
And he goes like 65 games in a row. He picks the winner. So he gets on this TV show with Al Pacino, who runs this gambling advice thing, which is a racket in itself. If you want to go down a rabbit hole of craziness, go read how that works. It's insane.
2 for the money.
2 for the money. That's the movie. But Al Pacino has a great
22% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, yeah, no, it's not a good movie. But there's a great line in the movie. So Al Pacino runs this whole ring, right? And he is a recovered gambling addict. And one of the penultimate scenes in the movie, he is at a Gamblers Anonymous meeting. And he's talking about how winning for a gambling addict is not the rush. Losing is the rush. Because when you lose everything and you're still alive, the world makes sense. And then he proceeds to hand out business cards and tell all these people at Gamblers Anonymous to come and bet with him. So, but that's the reality of some of these products that, yes, you can pay $1,000 for a spot and have a chance at a $100,000 card. It's not a 1 in 100 chance, though. It's like a 1 in 30,000 chance. And so your odds make no sense. It's crazy to me.
Sometimes you have better odds and you still don't win anything
Yeah.
in a whole week in
Yeah.
New Orleans at the casino.
That's your wife's fault, though, right?
100%.
100%. Every time you won money, she took it and lost it. That's the story I got.
What's the policy on eating crackers in the podcast?
Well, I feel like it's a bad policy because we've got a bunch of Italian food on the way, and you're going to be full on crackers.
Don't you fat shame me, bro.
I'm not fat shaming you. I'm
All right.
trying to help your digestive system. What's really weird is the IPA with the crackers.
I live my life on the edge.
What else we got?
What else do we got?
Pickups this week? You were on vacation.
Pickups. Nothing major for me. I had some break stuff come in. I got in on a Prizm football break. On one hobby box, I hit 2 silvers on one team.
There you go. Solid.
Not very relevant. And then I was able to finally get some retail Bowman.
Which I have just crushed this year.
It's probably what I've seen and what I've opened. It's probably my favorite product in the last 3 years.
Yeah,
Since I got
from
into
a retail
Rip It,
standpoint, it's been
the
great.
value is there. You have actual chances of hitting big cards. The prospecting side for me is fun. And then what I liked about retail this year is you have a lot of the numbered paper rookies. So normally with Bowman paper vet rookies, I get, is it vet rookie? Yeah.
Well, just paper rookies.
Paper rookies.
Not prospects, actual rookie
Yeah.
cards.
There's little to no value, but now that you have chances, like I hit that Duran to, what is it?
150.
150.
Which
yeah.
I'm going to need.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But there's just a lot of fun stuff in there. There's a lot of interesting, fun insert sets.
Yep. Red Sus called up Duran, by the way.
Uh-huh.
Finally. Hallelujah. He's only been torching AAA for a year and a half.
And it's still fairly accessible.
Yeah.
It doesn't get completely wiped out every time in our area, which is nice. So, but whenever I see it, I'm getting some of it.
The Megas have been a little tougher, but I've gotten very lucky. So the Megas have
Oh,
always
yeah.
been...
Talk about that.
Yeah, the Megas have always been Target exclusive early on, and then they'll end up in weird places. Like some weird places to go buy sports cards. If you see a Cracker Barrel, go into the Cracker Barrel. And while you're there, order a Country Boy breakfast.
Yes.
With steak.
Double the grits.
Yes, and double the hash brown casserole. Get rid of the fried apples
and then A1 sauce and the grits.
and the eggs. Yes, so that's step one when you get to Cracker Barrel.
What you need to do right now is pause
And take notes.
and go back 10 seconds and 1 second at a time. Write pause. Write it out. Pause. We're gonna say it one more time. Are you listening?
Country Boy breakfast.
You don't need the apples.
Nope, you need extra hash brown casserole.
That's right.
You need your eggs over easy.
Mm-hmm. You're going to get grits. You're going to add some A1 to them, and then whatever's left of the egg juice.
You put that on there too. You would need your steak with that, and you want it medium. And then just when you think you're done, move over to the biscuits and gravy and finish those off too. It's the best $14 you'll ever spend at a restaurant.
You and I had that twice in 3 days.
Yes, and it was well worth it. I
Wait,
think I'm having it
twice in
Sunday
2
too.
days?
Yes, twice in 2 days.
That was March Madness at
And we
Wheeling
weren't
Island
tired of
Casino.
it. Yes, sir. So, but when I say all that, go do that. But then also check because Cracker Barrel sells sports cards. I've found Mosaic there. I'm interested to see if I find Prizm there this year. But they always end up with some Bowman Megas somehow, some way. Price on Bowman Megas went way up this year. But that's okay. So I've ripped 20 of them.
What's a mega going for right now?
$40. They used to be 20. I've ripped 20 of them. I pulled 4 autos. I pulled 10 or 11 colors, and I pulled an orange to 25 Ellie De La Cruz, and in the same pack, a Marcelo Mayer of 99 Green Shimmer Redemption auto. They've got the image variation first autos. They don't have the first on them, but technically their first, but it's an image variation. They're like one in every 300 boxes, 300 packs, 310 packs. I pulled a Warming Bernabel, who's a prospect I really like a lot in the Rockies organization. His name is really weird and interesting, like who names their kid Warming, but the dude can hit. He's got a really good glove. Not a big power guy, but he hits. So if you can find some megas worthwhile, they've had them on the website for a minute. There's a limit of 3. So, but see what you can find in your stores. Targets have been stocking differently than they used to, so they aren't sending Excel reps to the stores anymore. The stores are just stocking. So if you can kind of figure out when the stores stock, I know when the ones around here do, and can catch a little bit, you should be able to find some stuff there.
Nice.
So Bowman Megas have been great. That's the only place you can get the Mojo refractors. So,
did you pick up anything else?
Yeah, actually, I picked up quite a bit of stuff this week. I've been on and if any of our listeners are out there, I'm on a big buying run on John Kenzie Noel, Indians prospect, paper and chrome colors. Not really looking for like of 5s.
Are you doing an advertisement right now?
Yeah, just hit us up. Hit me up on our Facebook group because I'm interested in buying your stuff.
You can't lowball them when they.
Sure, I can.
Oh,
I don't need to
If
lowball
you're
because the
considering
comps on Jackenzie Noel right now aren't super high, but the dude is just obliterating baseballs. He's hit 3 home runs in the last 2 weeks that were 460 or longer.
Sounds like it might be a good hold for the listeners then.
No, they should sell them to me. I bought his of 25 paper for like $23 on eBay. And I picked up, so another guy, if you're not a baseball prospecting person and don't want to do the research yourself, I'm not going to give you lots and lots of tips, but I'm going to give you this one. There's a kid in the Dodgers organization, and it's not Miguel Vargas, who I'm also high on. This kid, his name is Andy Pages. It's spelled Pages, but it's pronounced Pages. All he does is hit dingers.
I hit dingers.
All he does is hit, and he's 20 years old in Double-A. Every level he goes to, his strikeout rate goes down, and his ISO goes up. It would not shock me if he ends up on the Dodgers roster at some point this year.
Wow.
He looks like a bulldog. If you look up Andy Pages, he looks like a bulldog, and all he does is hit dingers.
I hit dingers.
He was an auto-only guy in 2020 Bowman, so his only firsts are autos. I picked up 2 PSA 10 autos this week off of eBay. I made offers and both offers. You see what I'm saying? He looks like a bulldog, doesn't he?
No,
yeah.
he doesn't.
No, he does. Yeah.
Did you mean a pug?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. But he doesn't look like an actual human. It's weird. But he hits baseballs a really long ways. Yeah.
I'll tell you who doesn't look like they're within 500 feet of the
He
school.
looks a little bit like a skinny Johnny
I don't know who you're talking about.
from work. Yeah? A little bit? No? Okay. Anyhow, that's a guy, if you're looking for somebody to drop some dollars into, he's not cheap, but he's not crazy expensive.
He's not photogenic either.
No, not at all. He's not cheap, but
I
he's
feel
not
terrible if he's a listener
stupid
right
expensive. Who, Andy Pages?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, if you're listening to Andy Pages, you're ugly, but I'm buying your stuff because I think you're a
What
hell
if he
of a
was just
baseball
like,
player.
I'm Andrew Pages, jerk. Don't go Frenching it up. It's Joe Dirt.
He,
Churching it up.
Joe
Joe Dirt. Joe Dierte.
Last year.
You remember that movie?
I do.
You need to calm down a little bit.
In high A, he hit 31 home runs.
Okay, we're not done.
So far this year in Double A, he's hit 14 or 15, and he's just starting to heat up. Buy his stuff. You can buy his PSA 10 autos if you can find a good deal for about $250.
He's this year's first?
No, 2020.
20.
And he was an auto-only guy, so he doesn't have anything else. His base autos you can pick up for about $250 in a PSA 10. If you find them for that price or lower, I would buy them if you have the dollars to do so, because that's a card that I think realistically, if he gets called up this year and hits some home runs as the Dodgers are making their way into the playoffs, could be a $700 or $800 card by the end of the year.
Yeah.
I've picked up a couple of them this week, and I'm keeping my eyes open for more if I can find them. I'd like to get some color stuff, but the color stuff is going for stupid money right now. So anyhow, those have been my pick. Oh, I picked up an Amon-Ra St. Brown 1 of 1 this week. Gold from Legacy. Legacy is a product, if you're not super familiar, it's a little bit of a lower end Panini product, college unis, but they have inserts that are mini versions, like the Topps T206 size mini versions. And somebody sold me his Superfractor this week, 1 of 1 gold Superfractor.
Nice.
For a pretty good price. And he's a kid that I like a lot. I think he's a heck of a player. So
Yeah.
anyhow, that's my pickups this week.
Only other thing to go over.
What's that?
We have our grades for our subs.
Oh, we did. Our CSG sub popped. Didn't do bad. There were a couple things that I was real surprised in that I'll probably crack and either sell raw or resubmit someplace else because CSG grades a little bit tough, but they grade fair. I had a Kevin Alcantara auto, who's smoking the ball, by the way, that graded an 8.5, and I have no idea why. It was dead centered. I didn't see any surface issues, and I go over cards with a fine-tooth comb. But you did really well. You had a Josh Allen rookie come back as a 10, a Donruss rated rookie.
A couple like the Bazooka Aaron Rodgers rookie.
Yeah,
that's not an easy grade.
No. Those are always off-centered.
Yeah, 9.5 on that.
That Tom Brady.
Was that the Adrenaline or the Pacific?
It was the Pacific Adrenaline. It's a foil card. It's a tough
really
grade.
tough. 9.5 on that.
Tomlinson rookie was a 10, right?
Yep. I have a Jordan insert 10 of the 92 tops. What was that? Inside score? What was that called? That insert something score. Top score.
Top 50 score type thing. Yeah.
I that one was real nostalgic for me. I sent 2 off. 110, the other one 9.5.
Yeah.
Which the older paper Jordan stuff's not easy. Some paper like tops rookies, which are not easy ones to 10 out on just because they're such soft cards.
You had a Rodman rookie too, right?
Rodman rookie,
did an
8.5,
which
not
isn't bad
terrible.
on that card. Yeah.
What was the other one? The Jaegers got me. Joggers.
Oh, the Joggers. Yeah.
8.5s on both of those. It had to be the foil.
So it wasn't not like you took it in the teeth.
No. Nick Chubb 10.
Yeah.
JK 9.5, a lot of 9.5s.
Yeah.
So I like the subgrade. I'm looking forward to having them in. I'll sell probably half of them, but when some of that stuff that's like late 90s, early 2000s comes out, 9.5s and 10s, it's going to be hard to let go of it. Just cool stuff.
I bet you sell the Brady.
You think?
Yeah.
I don't know.
In a 9.5, what's that? A $500-$600 card?
Is it that good?
Probably. I mean, that's a tough grade card.
Yeah. Say it again. Don't tell my wife.
And that Josh Allen rated rookie is probably a $200 to $300 card.
Yeah,
as well.
I'm sitting on that one for sure.
Yeah, until halfway through the year when he's putting up MVP numbers.
Yeah,
then you're selling it.
But my next batch is going off to SGC. I've got some older stuff. I've got like the 62 Hank Aaron, some vintage stuff that I'll send over there.
Yeah,
and then I'll probably do another round of these. They delivered on their time frame.
Yep.
The grading was not. You're not 10 out by sending group subs. Like
no, they grade tough but fair. Yeah.
So,
and I like their slab. Like if you've never held a CSG slab in hand, you should go on eBay and just find a cheap one. Doesn't matter what the grade is. Go buy something that graded a 7. Just a trash card, just so you can feel the slab in hand. Because I promise you, once you do, you will understand. Like it's not even close. It's not even close. What is going on?
Drew has to spam FaceTime me.
Oh, okay.
In the middle of the recording.
Good for Drew. Well, the good news is I think that wraps our episode, doesn't it?
He just texted me. Yeah. You want me to answer it while he's on here?
Yeah, you should answer it while he's on here and tell him we're in the middle of the cast and he's really being aggressive.
You're on the ball card show, Drew. Yeah, how's it going, guys? You're live on the show.
Going great. I got a sign that I want to talk to you about.
Oh boy, here we go.
Nobody can hear him right now.
Nah.
Because it's coming through your headphones.
Yeah, it was terrible. I think we cut out while that was going on.
Well, that worked out fine.
Anyway.
Sorry about that, everybody that's listening.
Yeah. Anyway, this has been a disaster. 30 minutes in.
We did have a little bit of a mailbag question.
Okay.
So Trace asked what we think about soccer cards long term. Now, I know that you probably don't have much of an opinion, but I'd like to hear what opinion you do have.
I think that when you're seeing things like F1 begin to have like a bigger section of the market share in the U.S., I think that you're going to see similar things happen with soccer just as the hobby continues to grow, as fanatics invest. I'm not somebody that like watches soccer very often. Like World Cup, I'll watch a little bit.
Right.
But from what I understand of how the pro players are brought up, the farm leagues work, the different leagues that people are in, it sounds like there's a lot of different I don't want to say like genres, but different leagues and different routes you can go collecting within the soccer stuff. But product releases based off of who's releasing it for soccer is very different if you talk to people that are collecting soccer from what we would do with our three
Topps
major
is
sports.
king.
Yeah.
Topps is king. Panini, when Panini was doing mega cracks, which is something you can only buy in Europe, that's probably like the product. And the FIFA 365 stickers. Stickers have always been a big thing in soccer. But my thought process is that long term, it's a pretty good play. More and more kids in America are playing soccer. More and more kids in America are playing 2 and 3 season soccer.
And as there's more of a push to move away from contact sports,
right,
you're going to see more and more of that.
Which is super weird to me because these dudes smack their heads into each other on the reg.
Yeah, just with no padding.
Yeah, just do it. But I think that long term, and I think there's some value to be had in digging deep into some vintage soccer. A lot of people aren't aware that there is vintage soccer, but there is. And stuff from Maradona and Pele, guys like that, you can still kind of track down, and it's not crazy expensive. You're not going to be able to get high grades on it. You're going to get it graded as authentic. A lot of times it come back as 1s or 2s because there's going to be surface issues. But if you have a Hank Aaron rookie that's a 2, it's $8,000 or $9,000 card. So,
yeah, the other thing with soccer also is that the schedule for people. So I am ignorant to soccer. I'll just put it out there. I know you're shocked after hearing me talk about it for 30 seconds, but there's certain years where certain products are relevant, and then there are years in between where those products are irrelevant. So you really it is like Bowman prospecting on steroids times 20 leagues.
Agreed.
So it is a lot of work to get into it, but if you are into the space collecting, I think the hobby is only growing in that sport, and you're seeing more and more crossover across the pond over here with, I think F1 is a great parallel to take a look at.
Yeah.
Of a space that is getting a lot of love.
Well, and I think that you saw it about 15 years ago when David Beckham came to the United States and played for the Los Angeles Galaxy and MLS. I think you're going to start seeing more and more of that as older superstars start coming towards the end of their career. I think they'll start. There's been talk that Lionel Messi might come over here and play in MLS.
You bring up a great point. Here's something we're seeing happen that we haven't before. So that Beckham is a great example. Lionel Messi, I can see that happening. Look at what's happening with professional golf right now.
Oh, yeah.
The same thing is happening where it's like at some point it's about business.
Yeah.
And what people are wanting to do to grow the sport and the interest of the sport, what kind of experience fans should have. And some of the things that are happening have been antiquated, so you're going to see more of that. Money talks, right? Yeah. And when you're talking soccer, like the money spent to buy out a contract, like it makes football look like peanuts. Like it's nothing.
Those dudes make bank.
So I would say, yeah, if you love soccer, collect it. Do your research on which products and who's making what product and where the interest is. Don't just chase with the 3 major sports, your baseball, you're looking at Bowman and Topps.
Yep.
Football, basketball, you're looking at Panini. It doesn't necessarily work like that.
Buy the European products if you're looking to make money quick.
Yeah.
Long term, there may be value in Mosaic and Prizm, but if you're looking to make money quick, buy the European products and buy Topps Chrome.
Yeah. Here's what I would do if I decided tomorrow that I want to start collecting soccer. I'm probably going to spend about 6 months buying singles of players that I can do a little bit of research on. I can watch. Is this somebody that's interesting to me? Is there an upside? What information is out there? People that know way more than I do.
Yeah.
I don't try to be the expert on that.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
For good reason.
solid research if you're that guy. By Erling Haaland, by Kylian Mbappe, by Lucas Digne, by who's the kid that is with Arsenal? I can see his face.
Oh,
Billy Gilmore.
Oh yeah, I was going to say the Great Hambino.
You were going to say Billy Gilmore?
No, the Great Hambino and the Big Green. You ever watch the Big Green?
No.
You did not watch the Big Green?
Why did you just look at me like I stabbed you in the throat?
You stabbed me in the heart. That's what you did.
No clue what you're talking about.
It's got. I bet it has a better Rotten Tomatoes grade than.
I'm willing to bet that a documentary about paint drying has a better Rotten Tomatoes grade.
You
than
haven't seen
Two
the
for
Big
Money.
Green.
But
Let's see.
2 for the Money still was a fun watch.
Big Green movie.
You're really digging deep for this one.
Oh boy.
What's the Rotten Tomatoes score on that one?
0%.
2 for the Money is an Oscar winner in comparison.
This is not right. There's no way it's a 0%.
Oh, but it is.
Hold on.
You can refresh all you want. 0%. That's why I've never
Hold
seen
on.
it. It's a
I'm
terrible
going to
movie.
IMDb real quick. We got to verify this.
Who was in this movie?
Like half of the cast from The Sandlot.
Okay, so
Not the good ones.
so not good is what we're
Let's
talking
see.
about.
The great.
This is like Mighty Ducks 3 level of bad.
I'm going to reviews and I just
This is Mighty Ducks 3 level of bad.
D2 was good though. That was a good sequel.
You know what wasn't good? The rest of Goldberg's actual life.
Okay, well I can't even find a Rotten Tomatoes review on it, so
Yeah.
we can't verify that it's actually.
Okay. It sounds terrible,
Well, now I'm curious.
but don't be.
Why you want to end the
don't be.
episode?
Yeah, I think we're there. I think we
Hold
ended
on.
the episode like 3
One
minutes
se-
ago,
one more
and we just
second.
didn't know it.
The Big Green.
I think all of our listeners ended the episode 3
Oh,
minutes
here we go.
ago.
I'm in Rotten Tomatoes. It literally got a 0%.
Yeah. Terrible movie.
I didn't know that was possible.
That means not a single critic thought that the movie was even worth
Everyone
giving
hated
1
it.
star to. Everyone was like, I am dumber for having watched this movie.
Well, the people that allow us to have this show are called the Press Play Podcast Network.
Yeah.
And we want you to check them out. They're very
we don't
proud of us.
understand why.
They're very proud of us, but there's so many great shows on the Press Play Podcast Network. This has been the Ball Card Show, the sports podcast.
For the Sports Collector.
Bye now.
Peace.